barbershop conversation, guys. Feel free to hit the subscribe button and checks and balances out. You guys see it in the link below. Also, we're gonna go live on this subject tomorrow because I think this is a layered conversation. I don't think that this is just topical. Um, Let me start by saying this, man. Um, I had a chance to watch Dante's video. It was a 30-minute video, I believe, and it was sent to me quite a few times. And I thank y'all for keeping me in the loop because I'm out with my accountability team, my college teammates, my college best friends, and we just brought our families up, and we're having a great time in the San Francisco area. And it's just been a hell of a beautiful weekend. And I want to combine that with what I said. I'm gonna start by saying this. Dante started well before me, and he was a great inspiration for me. He was a great asset to me. No, excuse me. He is a great asset to me. You know, and I believe men like me, men like Blue Blood, because I remember Blue Blood used to do um, used to do his Sunday show, if I'm not mistaken. You know, Dante and I, keep it a buck. Dante and I was the first people to ever do live blow by blow live videos because we got kicked out of a fight one time for doing it, you know, and then now it's if you have a YouTube channel, that's what you do, you know, and people was laughing in the chat, and now it's status quo. So he forgot that accomplishment, you know what I'm saying? So, but I'm gonna say this, man. You never want to separate yourself, man, and I don't care what nobody say. You could be right, you could be wrong, but you never want to say I'm the only one being the only one because when you look at it, when you look at the LDBC, um, I'm not talking about it from a individual perspective. I mean, you got to give 78 credit. I'm just being on semantics. I don't care if I disagree with him on a subject matter, which I don't take personal. Um, a topic, you just walk away and you're like, that's it. Next time, it's gonna be another topic, man. But I think um, what he's created in terms of people having the ability to connect with one another. I'm not talking about what they talk about in their videos, how they do their interviews. I'm just talking about an umbrella of brotherhood. I think that's a beautiful thing, man. And on any levels, man, that's what fraternities does. That's what when you go to the police, what do you call that? Police academy. When you want to join a football team and basketball team, you have to go through tryouts, and I think that alone should be celebrated. You know, um, and I think when we begin to separate ourselves, that's when we create the Malcolm X versus Martin Luther King. And coincidentally, I got this sweater on, my Malcolm X sweater with Muhammad Ali. When Muhammad Ali never had a conversation with Malcolm X because the Nation of Islam and the government murdered him, he never got a chance to tell him how right he was about Elijah Muhammad's greed and his infidelities and him stealing money from Muhammad Ali um, and because he said a lot of things that he spoke of was right, but because we're joining these groups, we guys got to understand something. You can't put your group before integrity. You can't put your group before truth. You can't put your truth before your last name, and that's something that I know, and that's something that I stand by. Um, I We have to go through life wanting to be assets, and I think that's where we lose sight of the I. Um, I think what Dante has created, is should be celebrated. I think what 78 Sports created should be celebrated. Understand something. I'm talking about the umbrella. I'm not talking about what's their view on racism. What's their view on whatever the case may be. I'm talking about the ability to defy phenomenon and create a group which works, you know, and when we see it from that level, you have to respect it. And I'm telling y'all, you have to respect it. All right. Now, with that being said, I want to collaborate. I want to coincide with what this weekend did for me. I have Rocky Holman, who is family is one of the richest families in Cincinnati, Ohio. You can Google them, Holman Motors, um, number one RV seller in North America for years in a row, number one and number two for at least 20 years. Um, and there's two other of my friends came down. It was four families. Two of them couldn't make it, and we don't care what happens in politics. We don't care how you feel about abortion. We don't care how wealthy Rocky is or he is a staunch liberal. I know he's a staunch liberal. I'm not. You know what we did all day today? Hug and love on each other and um, obviously relive our old athletic prowess and um, things we did in college. And now we all have families and our kids are literally playing in the backyard together. That's ultimately what we care about, you know. LDBC is the umbrella. College was the umbrella for us. And that's what we got to learn. This umbrella of brotherhood, not just black brotherhood, brotherhood, period. That's the most important thing. I don't care that someone in our friend is more intelligent than me. I don't care. I came up here to love my friends that I've been friends with for 27 years. Graduated together. We were roommates. We were teammates. I was passing them the ball. They passing me the ball. And I think we lose sight of that. You know what I mean? We lose sight of the brotherhood and we go for selfish and greed. And that's what happened to Muhammad Ali and Malcolm X, two of the five most important men of the 20th century. Period. Not just color. More important than presidents. More important than your favorite athlete. More important than some people's moms and dads. So you got to understand that. When we do divisive shit, you know what I do? I disagree and I don't take it personal. And y'all know I don't take it personal because I'm an antagonist. Antagonists can't take shit personal. Do you understand that? But I'm going to tell y'all where we need to go. I'm going to tell y'all where we need to go. And I know this and I'm the only person that can say this. And I need everybody that can hear my voice to hear me carefully. This umbrella that we're under, new media, LDBC, media, period. I don't give a fuck. If we want to see the change that we want to be, we got to be there. It sounds beautiful on the internet. Ha ha. But we're not making an impact, the impact that we should be making. And I know because I've been on the ground level fighting. Dante used to be on the ground level fighting. I'm the only one in the history of new media ever to get their credential taken, revoked by every promoter. Many of y'all laughed, but it's because I stood for something. All I had to do was apologize in silence, and I would have got my credential back, no matter. All I had to do was tell Bob Arum to tell Evan Korn to give me my motherfucking credential. All I had to do was shut up against the nasty stuff that Kelly Swanson said. All I had to do was be quiet as it pertains to Golden Boy. Because y'all don't know I covered Oscar and had a good time doing it. It was easy. But I stood up for what I believed to be the truth in that moment, which it ultimately still is. And that's the problem. We just want to be cool and be part of a group. We don't want change because we are afraid to get to the highest level and kill the monster. We'll do it in a video game, but we won't do it in real life. We can say what we want. We got to stand up for something. Listen to me. If you are a part of the LDBC, new media as it is today in boxing, guess what? Don't respect you, and guess what you do? You play by their rules. You put a credential around your neck. I put a credential around my neck to help people. I was my own spook by the door because I didn't just want me to be the only black media person there. Everybody that has a page that's ever covered a fight can tell you I've snuck them into a fight, period. Everybody. And I did it because I understood the big picture. I never wanted to be the only nigga. Anybody who's ever called me about a credential, whether it was, I don't want to mention name because I don't want to point fingers, but anybody you could think of has called me for a credential, and I've given them the best advice I had in that moment. If you needed a phone number, I've always sent it to you. I didn't care who the fighter was. If I had it, I gave it to you. And that's what we got to be. This separation of shit, and it's disgusting. Oh, I'm a better nigga than you. I'm more nigga than you. Who gives a fuck? How much of boxing do we own? How much power do we have in the sport of boxing? If I would have had 100 of y'all niggas, I don't give a fuck if you're LDBC, new media. If I had 100 of y'all motherfuckers coming with me to fights, LA, Vegas, New York, Barclay, we could have took over this shit. Do we want power? Do we just want to be cool? Do we just want a title? Do we just want to be a part of a group? That's the big picture. And I know this. I've been on both sides of the coin. I've been the most influential media company. I've been it. For 2 years during COVID, I was the most important media company. Arguably, I don't care. I don't want to make it about that semantics. I was important, and I knew what I was doing. The last 2 years I had a credential. I knew I was the most important person there. The numbers tell me so. So I'm challenging that. I don't give a fuck about new media, LDBC. You can have your own fucking titles. My last name is Hawthorne. We fighting over titles, y'all. We fighting over groups. Cut the shits out. You either fighting for your last name or you fighting for power. Period. That's it. That's it. You know what these groups do when you die? I'm gonna tell you what these groups do. I had a man named Reginald Sampson. You guys Google him. Reginald Sampson, one of the most important doctors. I'm gonna tell you what these groups do. He was in all those black elite groups, right? Jack and Jill, and what else? Jack and Jill. There was a few of them because he was a prestigious doctor. And you know what they did? They do a ceremony, and they say we're gonna write your name in the book, so you will live in our books forever. They don't give you money. They don't put a put a scholarship in your name, but you're not all those dues that you pay. You know what you pay for at your funeral? For somebody to come and say you were a great man, you were an honorable, and they do this chant. I've seen it with my own eyes. You know what I gave the Reginald family? $1,000. That's what I did. The day of the funeral, I gave Reginald Sampson's wife a check for $1,000. Thank you. I appreciate you. Your husband was amazing to me. One of the greatest men I ever knew, man. And so what are we fighting for? We fighting to have the dopest YouTube channel? Is that the goal? Y'all can have the boxing shit. Like I said on my platform every day, y'all consume with my numbers. I want power. I've conquered boxing. You got to understand my mindset. I've conquered boxing. And guess what? Y'all wouldn't come with me. Y'all laughed at me. But I know why. Because you fighting to be a part of a group. And I know this going to go over a lot of people's head. And you're going to see this, oh, he dissing. No. No, I'm not. It's power. Power. You got to understand that shit. If I say who's the most powerful company in America, you know what you're going to say? Rockefeller or the Kennedys. Off the top of your head. Whether it's right or wrong, you're going to say it. You're going to say it. 8 out of 10 of y'all, if you're 40-something years old minimum, you would say the Kennedys are the Rockefellers. You're not going to say the Hawthorns, which is my name. You're not going to say the Williams. And that's what we should be fighting after. That's what we should be fighting for. We shouldn't be fighting for new media is better than LDBC. LDBC is new media. The umbrella of this shit, let's give them credit. If Dante want credit for new media, 78 Sports, they've done great. They've given you an umbrella. So now, 3 or 4 of y'all create a bond, and y'all can be brothers for life. But if we're talking boxing, and you guys need to hear me carefully, we're cowards. Because you know what we do? We're on YouTube asking for credentials. We're on YouTube asking for interviews. Have you noticed I've never gone on a platform that I thought was against me? You guys may think it's against the LDBC or whatever. No. You guys got to understand my mindset. I brought Bob Arum on my platform to give y'all the game. Y'all called me a coon. But then you kiss the Haney's ass and say, good job. And I'm talking about the LDBC and new media. You guys got to think. We really don't want to be change agents. We want to be a part of a group. And you think the group is more important than change. I want to change this shit. I don't want to fight. We can listen. I don't give a fuck if you LDBC, new media, hate Fred, he's a coon, that's fine. Because listen to me and listen to me carefully. The new media, I'm talking about the new, what you call it? The new type of media. Our goal should be to take the power. Not to be a part of the LDBC, not to be a part of new media, not to be, haha, I got a credential. Because you know what I would do when I had a credential? I would take my credential off my neck, get a ticket, go out, give a man my ticket. At least 50 people I've done this for. Taking my credential off my neck, handed it to them. I scan my ticket back in, and they walk in with my credential. I didn't value. I was literally the real life spook by the door. I've spent over $100,000 going to and from these fights for y'all. Y'all thought I was doing it for ego. No. I don't care about ego when I'm fighting them. I have an ego. Yes. I'm arrogant sometimes. I'm all the above because guess what? I'm a one-man machine. Y'all never physically supported me, but y'all fighting to be a part of new media LDBC. You're fighting the wrong fight. You should be fighting for power and your last name. Boxing is still the same. Devin Haney got 2 promoters now. Tank Davis re-signed with Floyd. They still negotiating Earl Spence, Terrence Crawford. Do you understand it? Yeah, I don't understand it. You know what you're going to say? Here's what we're going to say. Fred's a coon. Fred don't make sense. He's arrogant. He always flaunts his money. What else you'll say? Who else are coons that I've heard? Boxing New Media Today is a coon. Uh, Boxing Ego. I don't know what y'all say about Boxing Ego. He's arrogant or something like that. So on and so forth. Um, let's see. LDBC uses race. I don't really know who they're talking about, but I've heard that before. I can't think of the title of the groups off my head, but we're fighting the wrong fight. You know what we're going to be? Malcolm X and Muhammad Ali. And guess what? Jay-Z said it. Nobody wins when a family feud. So I'm getting in my car tomorrow, and I'm going to reflect on the best weekend I've had in a long time. With 4 of the greatest men that I know in my life. Three men, excuse me, four with me total, who've aided me and sheltered me and protected me and uplifted me and held me accountable the last 27 years of my life. They don't care that Trey is Asian. They don't care that I have mixed kids. They care about, is Frederick ascending? Is Frederick holding true to his word? How valuable is Frederick's last name? We never talked about this weekend what separated us. We talked about how can our children play more? What's the play on the property, Fred? Actually gonna plan a trip to Wyoming to go buy some acres. How cool is that? 27 years later, the same group that was poor in college are putting their monies together to go buy some acreage in Wyoming. The population of Wyoming is 581,000. That means it's spread out. That means we could do some great work there. That means we can really be prepared for the revolution. We can eat off of our land. I'm going to Wyoming within the next 2 years. I'm going to Wyoming. That's a fact. So that's what I want us to understand. The umbrella of the LDBC and new media gives us the ability to attach ourselves to 3, 4, 5, 6 brothers. And y'all create. Everybody in the LDBC new media ain't gonna get along. Are you fucking, do you not understand this? Anyway, we're gonna talk about this tomorrow night live, man. I'm gonna talk about it for a long time because I think we're losing sight. And if you just want to keep this shit topical, everybody's great. But let me ask you something. How much power does the LDBC have in boxing? How much power does new media have in boxing? You know what we brag about? I paid for that pay-per-view. That's my favorite fighter. Everything is good in boxing when my favorite fighter is doing good. You know what we forgot about? Mikhail Fox. Remember last August? He was robbed. Y'all remember that shit? Y'all remember that shit. Because y'all don't care. You fighting to be a part of a group. It's a group think. It's an echo chamber. Fuck the group. Get the power. The power in your last name. That's the ultimate goal. The name of the group is the umbrella. To create a group and go get it. To give you some new power sources. Oh, gosh. I'm not friends with everybody in college. Everybody I went to Warrior College with, I'm not friends with. Don't even know their last name. Don't know their mama. I forgot 90% of the people I went to college with. I got 6 people I went to college with. We're friends for life. Our kids play together. I'm in a 20-year-old text thread right now. Do you understand that shit? I spent money to come up to San Francisco to spend time with men that I love. Period. But y'all keep thinking it's LDBC versus new media. Y'all stay on that way. Y'all stay on that way, but you want to be the king of boxing? Be the king. I never wanted to be the king of boxing. If I would have been selfish. I just stand for truth and integrity. I don't give a fuck about that shit. LDBC, new media. I never do. I always want to be an asset. I will help to the highest level. I, I never asked people for money. They volunteered the money. When I spent $10,000 for Earl Spence, Sean Porter, I spent $10,000 on that day. I didn't ask nobody for money. Some people volunteered, and I'm forever grateful for them. You know, I did the 100 Black Men Strong in Houston. Black Fight Fan. I didn't ask Black Fight Fan for money. He offered. I'm forever grateful for that. I did that shit so we can get power, so we know strength is in numbers. I did that shit out of my pocket. Y'all didn't understand the shit. Y'all immature. You're too fucking immature. I get it. I can, and you guys got to understand this. See, I understand this shit because I defeated the monster. I slayed the monster. Money inspires you. I'm 8 figures in. 2 commas. But that don't define me. I have absolute power. I don't depend on no government. I don't depend on a group. I don't depend on a title. I go get it. I create and take my power. You guys gotta fucking understand the shit. But y'all keep on coming at me talking about a credential. I use their credential to be in the position that I'm in now. Y'all want to be in the credential so y'all can be in the position that they put you in. There's a difference. But y'all not gonna understand this shit. And I'm gonna get off this. I gotta take a shower. We getting out of here 6 a.m. in the morning. I'll be home. We're gonna go live on this tomorrow night. Should be a hell of a show. So I'll see y'all tomorrow night in the barbershop. And I'm gonna leave y'all with this. What they did should be commended. But if you're fighting for a group, you're a fool. You guys don't understand what I'm saying. The immature people is gonna say, Fred, you're taking shots. No, 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 no. I'm forever grateful for what Dante and 78 created. That's not the purpose of the group. The purpose of the group is to go get the power. How much power does new media have? No power. How much power does LDBC have? No power. Bob Arum is still Bob Arum. Al Heyman is still Al Heyman. You know what we do? We subscribe to Showtime. We subscribe to ESPN Plus. We brag about paying for paper. I paid for pay-per-view. I paid for pay-per-view. Y'all too afraid to tell your favorite fighter, I didn't buy your pay-per-view because boxing ain't shit. I'll tell my favorite fighter in a heartbeat, I ain't buy the shit. Fuck it. Barbershop comments. I see y'all tomorrow night, man. And what they did should be commended because they created the umbrella for us to go get the power, for us to have a strength, to have a power source. Do you understand what I'm saying? I'm in a different frequency. I'm not saying I'm above you. I'm just in a different space. But if we want power, we got to go take it. You got to show up to these fucking events and demand your respect and take your power. Doing this shit on the internet, I don't care if you're LDBC, new media, old media, you ain't shit. You ain't shit in boxing. boxers and just using you for your platform to help them grow. That's it. You ain't got no power. Show me how much power you got. Change Bob Aaron's mind. Show me how much power you got. Change Eddie Hearn's mind. Show me how much power you got. Change Al Heyman's mind. I've done it a few times. But I need y'all to take it over to perpetuity. I'm gone. Barbershop conversations, man. Checks and balances is out. Never ever discredit a man for creating something. If you just value being a part of the LDBC, you give 78 the credit he deserves. If you just value being a part of new media, you give Dante the respect that he deserves. But now it's time to get the power. We ain't got no power on this fucking internet not showing up to fights. The reason why I had power, because I fucking showed up. You don't get paid when you don't show up to work. How the fuck you expect to get paid if you don't show up to boxing? They don't give a fuck about your YouTube channel, nigga. Because you know what? As soon as they send someone your way, you're going to cave in and invite them for an interview. Say, oh, yeah, I respect what you're saying. You never respect your fucking enemy enough to give up your fucking power, you stupid motherfuckers. Barbershop conversations, man. You take their power. You make them bend. And that's what they was afraid I was going to do. I was going to make boxing bend. Y'all didn't want to fight with me. Y'all want to be cool on the internet. You can have the internet. I want the power, nigga. Barbershop conversations, man. Feel free, hit the subscribe button. And the LDBC is a great umbrella. New media is a great umbrella. I want the power, man. I'm tired of getting motherfucking rained on. I'm gone, man. Peace, y'all.